And my first question is, you have served as the foreign minister of South Korea. So my question is about the South Korea foreign relations. In your opinion, what will the Northeast Asia relations of the South Korea be like in the post-Yoon Suk-yeol era? If you will rank of them in order of priority, how would you arrange the relations between China and North Korea, South Korea and Japan, or South Korea and the United States, and South Korea and North Korea? And I want to know your opinion. And the second question is that there are many voices about the multipolar world. Some people believe that every country is a poor. But others think that it's the region that become poor. So in your opinion, is the South Korea is a poor, or should the South Korea join the East Asia or the Northeast Asia and become one of the pole of the world, along with China, Japan, South Korea, and North Korea, or the Mongolia, right? Okay. Thank you.
As you know, this is a moment of political transition in South Korea, and I think I can address both questions at the same time. Because the former president has been impeached, it is now in presidential election season. The country will have a new president on June 4th. The election will be on June 3rd. Whoever gets elected will be inaugurated the next day without any transition, because this is a special election, not the regular 5-year election. So the new president will have to hit the ground running, as they say, on so many fronts, on all of these foreign policy fronts as well. But I think pragmatism, not being ideological, and serving the people. The economy is in a very difficult situation, and the declaration of martial law by the impeached president has really sunken the investors' interest in the country. Unless the country stabilizes and they see stable rule of law governance, foreign investors are not going to come back. And that's so the economy is suffering both externally, internally, even as it has also to deal with the tariffs coming from the United States. So the incoming government will have a very difficult list of tasks to deal with, and they can only survive this period by being very, very pragmatic. Geography is fate. I mean, you're stuck there. You can't move. And I always think the first order of foreign policy is to get along with your neighbor. Right? Live in peace and co-prosperity with your neighbor. That has to be the first order of foreign policy. Of course, we have a particularly challenging neighbor in North Korea because it's closed. It's beefing up its nuclear and missiles capacity. So that is a big, big security challenge for not just South Korea, but China and North Korea and Japan as well. So on this issue, the countries of the region have to closely collaborate. But the basic approach is to strengthen peaceful neighborly relations in the region that you are working with. Which is why countries that have fought together, wars, killed each other, have decided to turn the page and go towards regional integration, and that is the European Union, and that is the ASEAN model. Different models, different levels of integration, but the spirit of regional collaboration is what drove that regional mechanism. As I said, we don't have that in Northeast Asia. And leaders of all 3 countries, all 6 countries in Northeast Asia, if you were to include Mongolia, and I think Australia and New Zealand, also always wanting to be a part of that, but at the core is the 3 countries, China, Korea, and Japan. And needing to together deal with the North Korea challenge, but also needing to ensure peace and co-prosperity among themselves. North Korea, what priority relations does it have? That's not. I think North Korea ultimately wants a deal with the United States because it sees only the United States as being able to give it security guarantees. And which is why it is holding on to its nuclear program, because it's the only leverage it has to bargain that security guarantee from the United States. And it is close to China. Now it's even closer to Russia. It doesn't want to deal with South Korea at all at this point, and that's its current trajectory. But in the end, North Korea's goal is ultimately to get a deal with the United States. But we have to make sure that whatever deal comes out of it has to be in our interest. It cannot go against our security interests, or Japan, or China's, or Japan's, the countries who live in this region. And we want to live in peace and be secure.